Congratulations on 65. I got to check it out
Thank you.
yesterday. It's a lot of fun.
Oh,
It
good,
kind of
good.
scratches it scratches a very unique itch because it is on paper. This is a very wild concept. It's dinosaurs, sci-fi, wilderness thriller. There's so much going on in this film.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of starting off, what excited you about kind of stepping into a project like this that kind of touches on so many different elements?
Well, everything that you're describing, that it was unique, that it was a weird mix of a lot of different things, that there's dinosaurs and laser guns and spaceship crashes and but that was ancillary to kind of, and that it was a family movie that everyone could watch, that was kind of trying to address big themes, about grief. And when I got it, it was like during the first wave of COVID, where obviously the metaphors were obvious. So it was like, we're doing something in theaters that everyone could go see that was about people facing this common enemy that no one had a precedent for, and you wound up having these found family relationships because of it. And there's two people processing grief at different times. And it just seemed like, wow, if you can do something, for a big audience of people that is entertaining, but also have a really hopefully an emotional story with three-dimensional characters. I mean, that's a hard balance to get right.
And I think it does have just so much fun and you brought some of the theaters, which is something I wanted to bring up because my editors were talking to me about, like, anytime I see a film, it's usually all right, how much do I need to see this in theaters versus can I wait for streaming? Like, even our side of things, we discussed that. And I think this is a movie you really do have to see in theaters to kind of get that full lived-in experience with an audience.
Yeah, it's hard to really get immersed into the scale of dinosaurs when you're watching it on a phone. Like, suddenly the threat and the sound is a huge part of this movie. It's not as good as and plus just watching it with in a dark theater with strangers adds another kind of meta level to watching the movie. I mean, it's about people not being able to communicate, or people communicating in silence, which is exactly what happens in a movie theater when you watch it with strangers. Is suddenly you realize you're responding to the same things, and that makes everything more heightened. It's the great thing about movie theaters. But the scale of it is really hard to understand, and the sound, and on a smaller screen.
Fantastic. And that actually speaks to something I do think is a real strength of the film, is that so much of this movie is dialogue free. Like, so much of this movie is just you and Ariana having to find this relationship with the language barrier, with the inability to just talk out the feelings. So much of this is just visual art and just seeing the two of you bring this acting completely in that sense. What was it like finding that kind of rapport with her on set and without having the reliance of dialogue to kind of figure stuff out?
Yeah, people have been asking about that. And honestly, I kind of forgot that we weren't talking so much, because there was so much talk in between takes about everything that we were doing physically, because we, didn't have a lot of dialogue. So by the time we were doing it, it seemed like we were talking, even though we hadn't been saying anything. And I can also forget that we're isolated with each other, because there's the whole crew, that obviously you can't see, hopefully.
That would shift the tone a little bit.
Right. Yeah, there's dinosaurs, and oddly, like, Todd is in the movie.
That guy's got a rapture.
Yeah.
Adam, thank you so much. Honestly, I really enjoyed the film. I'm so excited for everybody else to see this, especially my wife, because she is the perfect Venn diagram for this film. She loves you and sci-fi original films, so this is exactly up for her eye. Adam, have a good rest of your day, a good rest of all of these. And I really hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you to you, and thank you to your wife. Thank you. Hopefully we'll cross paths soon.